remember they dropped the receipt one time. That was 400K in the bank account, just casually dropping. I need to find something I could sell for higher. I need to find something that's cheaper, and I need to sell for higher, 1,500 to 2,000 off that one pair. Well, I'm starting to make some money. This is starting to feel real good. Everyone's just like, oh, let's make 100K salary, six figure that. Okay, cool. Let's actually break down the math.
What's going on, everybody? It's Natasha Watkins, your favorite realtor. And as always, I like to bring you guys different things to help you with wealth, relationship, whatever the case is. Today, I have Marcus, one of our favorite people in the world, out here to teach us a little bit about e-commerce and a little bit just about his professional life. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, man? Pleasure to be on here. Thank you for having me.
Good. So I'm a little bit of a, for lack of a better word, I'm a newbie when it comes to the whole e-commerce world. I've seen it, and I know that the wealth that it can generate. Can you tell us a little bit about how you got started, a little bit about your life story, how you got here, and then we'll transition into the e-commerce a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. So just to answer the first question of e-commerce, I know a lot of people, when they hear that word, they kind of just get hit with like a boulder of kind of like, what does that even mean? Such a big word. E-commerce, you know, if you were to break down the word commerce is a trade of things. And the E just stands for online, so it's the online trade of things.
Got it.
And how I got into the online space, I started my online journey when I was in college.
Oh, okay.
So I was very in tune with the Asian immigrant background family.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Nice.
And I'll explain what I mean by that. When I was growing up, my grandparents raised me, my parents raised me as well, but I was taught to go to Harvard, Yale, very typical Asian community standards. And I would argue that I did my part, meaning I was getting good grades, I was going into sports teams, I was setting myself up for that, 9-to-5 career. I was setting myself up for that. And I remember halfway into college, that's when I first joined my first Greek life fraternity. Shout out to
nice. What did you pledge?
I pledged Lambda Phi Epsilon. Shout out Lambdas.
Nice. Go for it.
Alpha chapters. But basically, I was in a fraternity, and I kind of started slacking off a little bit. I'm not even gonna lie. But the cool thing was I was still able to keep up my grades during that time.
Yeah.
And as I was kind of messing around with life, I wasn't taking as much attention to school. I actually put that attention into, I would say, hustling. Hustling meaning I was trying to find ways to make money, because when you're in college, to be honest, most college kids are broke,
Yeah.
And I was in Binghamton. I remember seeing like these Chinese foreigners, even though I'm Chinese myself, I saw these foreigners, they're just rocking like a Lamborghini Ferrari. And I remember they dropped the receipt one time. I was dorming next to this one Chinese foreign.
Got it.
He was like the son of a government official or something like that. I don't know.
Okay.
But basically, I remember him just dropping like his receipt, and he just had like 400K in the bank account, just casually dropping. He buys whatever he wants in his dorm room. And I was just like, there's another level of finance that I have not seen before. And this is pretty damn interesting. So what ended up happening, that was a spark of, I want to make something. I want to see something. And then I started selling shoes. I started finding Yeezys, off-white sneakers.
Nice,
you know about those.
Yes, of course. I grew up being a little bit of a sneakerhead. Life hits you, and then you fall off of those things. But yeah.
Yeah, so I found a passion, Yeezys, off-whites, Nikes. I remember buying a pair of Yeezy Blacks, 350s, black reflectives. They were going for like 230, and then I got it and sold it for like 1,500.
Definitely. So are you sort of like, you started off as a reseller a little bit?
Exactly.
No? Okay.
So my perception with online, I'll go into how it went to online, is just, I need to find something I could sell for higher. I need to find something that's cheaper, and I need to sell for higher. I first found that vehicle through shoes, reselling shoes. And then I remember I made like 1 profit sale, meaning like I bought the shoe and I literally profited like 1,500 to 2,000 off that one pair for like 2-3 of them. And I'm just like, well, I'm starting to make some money. This is starting to feel real good.
Yeah.
And then what ended up happening was I made about like 4,000 during the month, like around 3 to 4K. And I searched up on Google, because this was in the middle of college. I was just like, how much does 100K a year make? Because everyone in college, everyone's just like, oh, let's make 100K salary, six figure that. Okay, cool. Let's actually break down the math. I'm Asian. I like to break down the math.
But that's what it all is. Like, we look at these big numbers and everything like that. If you break it down to day by day, hour by hour, week by week, month by month, you'll be surprised how much easier it is to make money than most people think, correct?
Yeah. I remember doing a calculation. I was literally in college in my bed thinking, if I'm trying to make a 100K salary, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember it was like $300 a day. Like, I just have to make $300 a day. And I'm already on track to 6 figures. I'm just like, well, I can make $300 a day. Let's find out how. And that's what sparked my curiosity to go into the online space. That's what got me to like, okay, I want to make money online. Because I could find shoes to sell. I could definitely find some products to sell. And that's where drop shipping, that's where e-commerce came into my world.
See, I've always heard those terms, drop shipping and e-commerce, but thank you so much for bringing a little bit of clarity to what it actually means. Here's my question, though, just hearing everything that you said, and it's totally outside of the box. Do you think that the regular worker is dead? Do you think that 9 to 5 is over and more people should move into being an entrepreneur? Or do you think there's still a space for a 9 to 5 worker and transition to maybe to stocks and real estate and stuff like that? How do you feel?
That's a really good question. Many times the answers seem like it's such a static answer, like it's just like a one size fits all, but it's kind of like putting a circle in a square.
Yeah.
You know, it's a dynamic answer, meaning that I believe in just human species, human evolution, you're always going to have a contingent of people that are going to be sheep and follow the crowd. And there's nothing wrong with that, because you need people like that in order to also have a contingent of people that don't follow the crowd and don't follow the norms. And I think 9 to 5, employees, employers, all of that, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
It doesn't matter as long as you are towards the same goal. I would argue that there are people in, my company and my positions, well, not my position, but people in my company, they might have an easier, they have an easier life. Like, they have an easier role. They have less responsibility. So it's just a give or take. It's about how much pressure can you handle? How much responsibility can you take? How much accountability can you handle? I've noticed a tremendous difference. A lot of non-entrepreneurs, a lot of people that are really immersed in a 9 to 5, and call me out, guys, if you guys think this is wrong, but it's like, a lot of people now, they don't take accountability simply because you don't need to. You're not the founder. You're not the boss. You're not the one that's calling the shots, so you don't have to take that accountability. Yeah. And I think when it comes to just being a good human in general, being a good human being, you need to have accountability in your life.
100%.
Okay? And to go into the question where, how is society going to function if everyone's an entrepreneur? I don't necessarily think everyone can be an entrepreneur. It doesn't even make sense. Like,
I agree with you 100%.
You're going to have winners and losers. You're going to have first place and 8th place. That's the fun of the game. That's capitalism. That's meritocracy. Yeah. Okay? But I will also say this. Never has there been a time in human evolution where there has been a species that has the intelligence to match the human intelligence, if not even greater. So we're living in a time period where people can be entrepreneurs. AI can revolutionize the world where you can make your own self-sustaining business to do the endeavor that you're doing, because it gets rid of a lot of the mundane tasks that you don't need to do. You really could, or it could go into a complete darker era where the people that do understand AI and do understand technology don't let other people know about, or don't let people use that leverage to build upon their journey, their dreams.
That's interesting that you said it that way. Do you think it's actually the people who are in control, or is it the people who are afraid of change of technology? Like, I'm a little bit older than you, so I'm not as adept. I don't get it as fast as most people does. It's not outside my realm, but I've been playing with it. I've been playing with ChatGPT.
I can tell.
All the different things, and I'm always open to learning. Is it that most people are just not willing to be uncomfortable enough to learn, or do you feel that it's a species thing?
Yeah, it's a great question. So when it comes to adapting to new technology, you're always going to have friction. Yeah. Whenever you try something new, you're always going to feel uncomfortable. The same people that are shying away from AI, the same people that are afraid of this technology, are probably the same people that were laughing at their mom and dad for not using a credit card 20 years ago. It's technology. Yeah. And you can't let that slip through the cracks, meaning every single technology that revolutionizes the human species, you have a little period where there isn't monumental government's control. And here's what I mean by that. When the printing press first started, and newspaper was readily available for everybody, and the process of information is spread out widely, there was a period where, you know, you say anything and it's a free-for-all and it's great until a few years down the line, regulations start coming in, and you're going to start seeing regulations. The same thing happened with the television. The same thing happened with the radio. The same thing has happened with the internet. I grew up in a very interesting time. I grew up in the period between, I don't even know which generation I'm in. I want to say.
Are you after 78?
No, I'm 97. So.
Oh yeah.
I'm in the tail end of millennial, but the frontier of Gen Z. So I saw the period of life before technology came, and I also see a period of life where technology fully was integrated. I was in that middle point, and I truly see that there's a huge difference in that. And I'm saying this because, you know, when the internet first came out, you know, putting your business on Facebook sounded crazy.
See, the thing is, for me, I'm a Gen Xer, so I'm a lot older than you are.
Okay.
But the great thing about Gen X is that we've seen every single period. I've seen that period of dial-up, of AOL, and everything like that, and I saw that
shout to
fear.
AIM. Shout to AIM.
I saw that fear of people when Amazon first came out, and that missed opportunity. And I think this is why I'm so open to AI.
I don't think it was missed opportunity.
It's missed opportunity for a lot of people because we thought that no way in hell are people going to shop online. I saw that period. I saw that transition. So now that AI is here, I'm open to it because I don't want to miss it again.
Let me tell you something. You're a man with many wisdoms because you learn from past experiences.
100%.
You know, there's a saying that goes, the human species are a species of amnesia. We tend to forget. We tend to not look at history. We tend to not look at the mistakes that we did so that we don't know what's ahead. But if you look at history, it's very obvious, okay? Any technological disruption that comes into the space, there's going to be a time period where there aren't many regulations. You're able to get 10x the results than someone that's not using it. For example, the invention of cars. Do you think the people that were riding horses, the people that had the horse businesses, wanted cars? No.
Nope.
But because technology came, you have to adapt to it because cars were more efficient, they're faster,
100%.
easier to use. Same concept with gunpowder and the samurais. You know, the samurais went extinct, not because, you know, they could be as loyal as they want. They could be as crafted with swordsmanship as they can be.
Yeah, but you're not going to stop that bullet.
But you come with the gunpowder, you know, you get obliterated. And that's what technology is. Technology, disruption technology, like AI, is going to 10x. You know, there's something known as Moore's Law. Moore's Law is basically the process of innovation. It's that every 2 years, the rate of technology increases by like 4x. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what Moore's Law is. The point is that artificial intelligence is increasing at monumental speeds. It's literally at the points where I would even argue that AI is smarter than the average human being.
But don't be, I like to preference that by saying don't be afraid, because the people who are going to move forward is the people who embrace and able to use it and bend it to their will. I think a lot of people are afraid of this apocalyptic Terminator or however movies that they see. And I'm with you. I think you need to embrace it.
So my question to you is like, are you afraid of a sword then? Or a knife?
I think people were.
Right?
And the only reason I said that is because I've seen the internet. I've seen crypto. I'm seeing AI now. And the more and more disruptive innovations are coming through every single year. Like, I feel like it's on top of each other right now. Like, it used to be spread out as I'm going up because we had the internet and everything like that, but it's just moving so fast. And I think a lot of people are scared of it. A lot of people don't want to embrace what the future is. And the people who are going to make money and the people who are going to succeed is the people who learn to use it the best.
Let me tell you guys one thing, okay? That was very well said. I'm going to bounce off of that. The reason I asked about is a sword or is a knife, are you scared of it, is because it's not that, you know, the sharpness of the knife that makes it scary. It's the person that wields it.
I agree.
Okay, it's not AI technology that you're scared of. It's the people that are behind it. And I'll tell you guys right now, just like I'm saying with every disruption technology, you have a period where there aren't many regulations. You have a period where it almost feels like you're hacking the system. You're almost hacking the game. If you know how to actually use ChatGPT to consolidate data and to use it for what it's supposed to, you are immensely going to 10x your results. The difference is that most people don't know how to use it. The difference is people are way too arrogant and they think that they know they know better, that they don't try to use it. You know, it's like they think they're too good for it, or they think that it's never going to catch up to them. Let me tell you guys right now, like AI is coming. I am at the forefront of e-commerce technology right now. I see what's going on.
Yeah.
Everybody that has business every business uses AI right now.
Yeah.
And you kind of have to adapt and learn that power. And the people that are able to capitalize during this disruption period, this 20-year period before regulations come, those are the ones that are going to win. And it's a scary thought, but I don't know where it's going to go because AI might just seal the opportunities for many, many generations to come.
No, I totally
the powers
agree.
that be so do that.
I think it's the people who are at the forefront. They're the ones who are going to profit, and then or benefit from it. I shouldn't need you to say just profit. They're the ones who are going to benefit from it, and everybody's just going to creep along right behind it.
So here's one thing that I learned about business that I wish I knew earlier. I wish I knew financial literacy a lot earlier. I got into crazy debt from dropshipping, low ticket, because I didn't understand financial literacy. Let me tell you guys a great lesson about financial literacy. What you need to do in business is you need to be able to spot trends early, and then you need to be able to take profit and dip. A lot of people are trying to be, you know, a bandwagon. You're gonna see something, you're gonna go, and then by that time, like people already took it. Yeah. It's like crypto. It's like if your 7-Eleven worker and your Uber car driver is telling you about Bitcoin and Ethereum, that's probably a time where you don't buy in. You feel me? Yeah. When it's bloody and when everyone's like, I don't know if crypto's about to be it, or it's the same cycles every time, guys. There's always gonna be those scares. And when everyone is scared, that's when I go. Yeah. That's where I go. I usually go where most people don't go.
I think it was it Warren Buffett that says when everyone is fearful, that's when you go in. Yes. But when everyone is accepted, I'm probably saying it wrong. That's when it's time for you to move on.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I totally agree.
When I hear my Uber driver telling me to invest into Ripple, Ethereum, Solana, Bitcoin, I'm just like, let me cash out real quick.
So like, I felt that during the pandemic, and I'm gonna tell a story. And don't ever be afraid to invest in things. So I invested into the NFT. I made quite a bit of money. But one of my big mistake, and you just taught me something. Well, something that I learned was know when to come out. I think that's a great lessons for everyone. You have to know when to take profit.
Yeah, I didn't know when to take profit. I didn't even know how to measure profit, net profit specifically.
Tell us a little bit about that. What does that mean?
That means that when you're running a e-commerce store, when you're running a dropshipping store, typically many people come in trying to sell products from China. They're using AliExpress to dropship. Okay. Now, when you use that model and you do get sales, the process of fulfillment is what most people don't talk about. Okay. How do you handle your customers when you're shipping the product from China with no label, no tracking number? It's absolutely terrible experience. You can't build a business off of that. Okay. That was a hard lesson that I had to learn personally. I was running up $200,000 a month, $300,000, $400,000, $2 million. And I was having such an immense amount of order volume. I wasn't able to handle the customer service. I was able to handle the emails, the live chats, all of that at once to a 21, 22-year-old kid that just saw his first 100K in his bank account was absolutely life-changing. I couldn't handle it. I think part of acquiring massive wealth is being able to understand what money is and then be able to harness it. Guys, money is just a technology. Money is just a form of currency to transfer value. Yeah, 100%. At the core end of the day, money is just a means to transact something. Back then, let's say I was a farmer. I would have, you know, pigs and cows, and you had maybe horses, and then I need a horse, and we would trade things. Yep. Now you put money in as a middle ground to trade things. So money inherently is supposed to be a representation of value. Yes. The problem is that the Federal Reserve, since around 1963, after Nixon, they abolished the gold standard.
Yep, I remember that.
For the currency. And what that basically means is that the US dollar isn't backed by anything. the U.S. dollar was backed by something, which
Well,
was
it is
gold.
backed by one thing. I
By
like
the
to
good
say,
faith of the U.S. government. If you go to Chase Bank or you go to any of the banks, it'll say you're backed by the due faith of the United States of up to $250,000,
Yeah.
which basically means if you have millions of dollars in a bank account and then something happens, you are insured up to $250,000.
yeah. I also like to say it's backed by the Americans military.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did you get that? How did you overcome that? Because one thing that you said, and I think it goes into that realm of being able to expand and know how to expand and putting more money back into your business. How did you figure that out? How did you get to that realm where your businesses start to be profitable and you be able to manage that expansion and that growth?
Well, I had to learn because I had credit card declines and I couldn't afford payroll. So hopefully you guys don't have to get to that.
Yeah.
All you guys really have to understand when it comes to financial literacy or even business in general is the concept of first principles.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of first principles?
Tell me about it.
First principle is the idea of sub-factoring or depicting things into its first point of contact. Meaning, for example, mathematics.
Okay.
25 plus 25 is 50.
Yes.
50 plus 50 is 100. Based off of the first principle that 1 plus 1 equals 2. What if I told you 1 plus 1 equals 3?
Okay.
That changes your whole perception of everything.
It's not the norm.
That's the same concept when I tell people what money is. That's the same concept when I question things. Because some people, their brains are not ready to be rewired. Their brains can't handle the fact that what if everything that I was told was a lie?
Yeah.
What if it was? I don't know what to do. I don't even want to think about it. And that's where I see the biggest problem amongst a lot of societies. Is not that people don't even recognize the problem. People recognize that there's a problem that's going on. They just don't do anything about it because they don't know what to do. There's not enough people that are well-spoken, that believe in the truth, and stand for what's right. There's not enough leaders like that. There needs to be more. That's what it is.
So does that go back to the concept that most people are sheep? And then how do we get people to change in society? How do we get society to move forward in the right direction?
Well, that's a very loaded question for me.
I know.
Well, there's a few things that come to my mind.
Okay.
Well, the first thing is, I don't want to sound
Go for it.
nihilistic,
Go for it.
but you can't have first place without eighth place.
Expand on that.
You can't have first place without eighth place. You can't have winners without losers. You're going to have
Got it.
leaders and followers. That's just how things are. However, I also believe everyone has the freedom to choose. And I think that's the problem. I think people aren't given the freedom to actually excel in what they came onto this earth for. Many people don't think about that. Many people have this inner child when they were younger. You would express it through sports. When you're in high school, you would really feel and live. And then you enter college. You're taught for 4 years to party your way, to party your life away, to go into a 9-to-5 world, to brainwash you into thinking a certain way where you lose that inner child.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest difference between me and someone that is starting off entrepreneurship is simply like, I just have a huge fire to keep my inner child. I think if everybody just resorts back to what they truly want in life, thinking back to purpose instead of filling themselves with needless distractions, the world would be a way better place. Did you know that Nikola Tesla, the person that Elon Musk founded his company from, the name,
Yeah.
Nikola Tesla, he was a great scientist. He once said that if you want to understand the laws of the universe, you should look at the laws of the universe through the lens of energy.
Okay.
Did you know, or let me ask you, what do you think the highest form of energy is?
I don't know the answer that you're probably trying to lead me to, but I think the highest form of energy, from my perspective, is creativity.
Creativity.
Yeah.
It's not a bad answer. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. What I found that works for me, the highest form of energy, isn't positivity, love. It could be love. It's authenticity.
I love that. I think you hit on something because people are attracted to authenticity.
It's authenticity. And when I heard that, I forgot when I heard that, but that made me just realize that just be you, bro.
Yeah.
Just be authentic. Live your truth. Speak your truth. And I think that's why people follow me the way they do. People follow Top G Mikey the way it's because what you guys see on camera is probably what you gonna hear in person. I ain't trying to filter anything, bro.
Yeah.
Some people tell me, oh, Marcus, you should curse less. You should speak like this. I say, fuck that. I will speak the way I'm trying to speak. I will communicate what's in my head to you thoughtfully, respectfully, and in a way that I believe is my truest self.
Yeah.
And that's really what it comes down to. Most people are not where they want to be because they're not living that truth. They're not curious enough. They just live off someone else's truth. If you have a belief in you that you strongly feel for, I want you to really think about, is that yours or did that come from someone else? Many people don't even realize that they fight so strong. They're fighting so strong for something that they think they believe in. They don't even know why they believe in it. It's because you just see what other people are saying. You see what the internet is saying, the television, and you just say the same thing that other people are saying because you don't want to be the loose crab in the bucket. You ever heard the crab analogy?
Of course, I know the crab in the bucket analogy.
Crab in a bucket is the best way to explain society. And it was the best way for me to even explain my journey. There were so many different moments where I felt like giving up because I felt that I didn't have the right support around me.
Yeah.
And it's those moments where you truly are questioning things and you ask yourself, is it worth it, Marcus? How do I keep going? What should I do? And that's where you find that confidence. That's where you find that self-belief of like, I don't know what's about to happen, but I know I'm going to try one more day.
Definitely. So I'm a big David Goggins fan. And
I love David Goggins. I have his book.
one thing that he said is that people are afraid to be uncomfortable. I think what you're aiming at as well is that sense of uncomfortability when you know that you don't know if you're going to make it, but you still have to push through.
Yeah, it's a really interesting concept that I've pondered too. I also love David Goggins, and I've pushed myself to new realms of uncomfortability.
Yeah.
First off, I like to cold shower every single morning.
Cold plunge?
Cold shower.
Cold shower.
I don't have a cold plunge.
Yeah.
I love it now. It's the best thing for me to start in the morning. And I want to look at it from this way. Usually, life is so contradicting, okay? Life is a dichotomy, meaning when you strive for pleasure, pain usually comes in the long run. If you go for pleasure in the short run, pain is going to find you in the long term.
Yeah.
If you want to go and eat cake and eat some goodies, cookies, eat your nice drunchies, munchies, get the nice feel-good moment. Yeah, like it might feel good right now. And then you're going to get it. You're going to have to work twice as hard at the gym. You're going to feel that belly fat. You're going to feel that little disgrace that you feeling.
Yeah.
Or you could suck it up. You could diet. And when you are in the shape that you want to be, then go treat yourself. I believe in discipline.
Yeah.
I believe in having rules and regulations. I think people should have more of that. I think people should have more standards for themselves.
Yeah.
When was the last time you actually went to a gym? Like, not you, but like people. Like, when did you actually go to the gym? Most people are so unhealthy. People wondering, like, oh, how do I get into a healthier lifestyle? How do I be more healthy, more energy, this and that? And then they pop pills because they're stressed, they're drinking. Dude, just exercise. Go to the gym. Get uncomfortable. Usually on the other side of uncomfortability is going to be that pleasure you're looking for.
Yep, yep.
Because for me, I'll tell you, and I'd love to know your thoughts on it. For me, I feel the best after I gave it my all.
100%.
I feel the best when I just had the longest 12, 14-hour day. I literally just went boom, 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 boom. I just got mad stuff done, and I am tired. And that 1 hour of, like, TV, whatever I want to do to, like, de-stress, it feels the best.
It's that sense of gratification after.
It's that sense.
100%.
Delayed gratification, which is what most people can't do because they're so caught up with technology, with social media. And I'm telling you guys, like, I'm the ones that's running the ads. I understand the technologies at B.
Yeah.
This is what they were programmed to do. So wake up.
So people talk about like addiction and in terms of like substance and everything like that. I think social media is probably the most addictive thing next to sugar.
I think addiction happens with all realms of life. I think everyone's going to have addictions. I have my addictions.
Of course.
I'll be completely honest. I just choose my addictions. Like, for example, someone might choose to eat cake all the time and fill themselves with sweets. I go to the gym every day. People look at me like I'm crazy. Like, why are you here every day? Why are you doing pull-ups every day? Why are you running every day? Like, you're crazy. And I'm just like, I might be, but at least I'm having a six-pack. Like, so I think addictions are going to happen one way or the other. It's just about whether that addiction is going to fuel you towards the right direction.
Yeah.
You need obsessiveness. I wouldn't be where I'm at if I wasn't addicted to my craft.
Yeah.
Kobe Bryant would have never been one of the greatest of all times if he wasn't obsessed and addicted to basketball.
Yeah. I've heard the stories. Yeah.
You need good addiction.
Yeah, definitely. I listen to him every single morning. So for me, like,
Kobe?
Yep.
Really?
So what I do I'm up by, now I'm trying to be up by 3, but I'm up by 5. And what I do is I'm trying to get back into shape and everything after the pandemic, and I fell into that trap of just being in the house. So I'm up at 5. But I listen to inspiration every morning. Roger is the one who got me into affirmation. I listen to David Goggins. I listen to Kobe Bryant. I listen to, surprisingly, Denzel Washington. And these are all people that get me through the day. That's how I get into that mindset. That being said, the hardest thing is for people to change their mindset. How did you develop it?
Very simple answer. I know it sounds so simple, but okay, look. I also started listening to Kobe and David Goggins when I first started off my entrepreneurship. And I also was just filling their voices and motivational videos. I'd be searching up Kobe Bryant motivation, David Goggins motivation. So I totally resonate. I totally understand how you feel. Here's how to combat a world of negativities or people that might not be on the same mission as you, which is you need to control your environment. You have to dictate your environment. If you're trying to lose weight, you probably shouldn't have chips and ice cream in your refrigerator on the top of the refrigerator. You want to program your environment. It's your habitat that will dictate your actions, okay? So if you're surrounded by maybe people that might not support you, voices that might not give you the best positivity, just change your environment, meaning program your environment to have positive voices.
Yeah.
I couldn't find that type of energy when I was first starting out, like the energy to be creative, to be my entrepreneur. I have many people that thought I wasn't gonna make it.
Yeah.
And now it's completely different. People are giving me more support, but it's only after I believed in my vision. I think that's what it comes down to. It's that no one's gonna believe in your vision before you, bro. 100%. Like, you're gonna have to see it, you're gonna have to see it through, and then you're gonna have to see it through so well that you convince other people to see it.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? You have to be able to see it in your mind, see that environment, literally feel it. Okay, that's a good exercise I like to do. It's I will feel what it feels like to be wealthy, not rich, wealthy. I will feel what it feels to have good relationships. I will feel what it feels to experience true love. And once you tap into that energy, once you get that feeling, you know what you're looking for.
Okay.
Once you know what you're looking for, then everything else becomes easy. You don't know you want to get a six-pack or lose weight until you really feel that you need to.
Yeah.
And once you do get that feeling of like, I really want to see myself in better shape, you use that pain or you use that energy and you change your environment. You move the ice cream, you put it into the garbage can, you throw the chips out, and you start. You make a contract, you make a plan of action, whatever you want to do. You write it down. This is what I want. I want to lose 40 pounds by 6 months from now. So that means I have to lose about, I'm sorry, I can't do the math right now.
It's okay.
6 months, 40 pounds.
I understand
We're
where you're
losing
going.
about, that's 5 pounds a month. Okay,
give
5 pounds a month, that's 1 pound a week. I need to shed 1 pound a week. I'm making a contract with myself that I'm going to shed 1 pound a week. Now, here's the thing. That's half the game. Half the game is talking to yourself about it, getting that plan of action. The second part is actually where most people fall off. Most people have New Year's resolution. Most people want to change. The difference comes down to execution.
Well said.
Right?
Well said.
And
I
most
agree
people,
100%.
this is what I see from my experience. Most people either have vision, but they got no execution because they're lazy as fuck. Some people work so hard, but they don't work smart and they have no vision.
Yeah.
A true businessman, a true man of high stature understands that you need a little bit of both. You need to know where you're going, and then you have to work hard.
Yeah.
Most people want to work hard, and then they don't work hard. They lose 1 month deep because, I'm not seeing the weight that I'm losing. I'm just going to give up. You don't have consistency. And then some people might just run, work, and they're like, I don't even know why I'm doing this for.
Yeah.
You need a little bit of both, and most people don't
No,
or can't harness that
agree
energy.
with you. I 100% agree with you. I think that even if we use the just the analogy of exercise, you know, you're working every single day, but you don't have a game plan. You don't have you don't know where you're going. You don't have direction. I think that's 100% true. One thing that I liked, we talked a little bit about our inspiration, where we get inspiration from. Let's wrap this up and tell us, like, what inspires you, what lets you wake up in the morning and keeps you going till that end of the night. What pushes you during those 12-hour days?
That's a good question. Makes me really think, and I want to give you the right answer. If I'm being completely honest, if it was just for money, women, cars, that's not going to be enough to get me through a 12, 14-hour day of true hard grind. I'll tell you what, when deep down in the trenches, when I feel like giving up, I'll tell you what I think about. I think about the people that I've helped so far.
Yeah.
I think about the actual change that I'm bringing into society, into the people around my world. I think about giving. I think there's true power in actually just trying to help people. And I've tapped into this world where the more people I help, the more gains I get as well. And call that selfish, call it selfless. I think that's a dichotomy of world. That's the dichotomy of business.
Yeah.
Point is, when I'm in the deepest moments, I think of my mom and dad. I think of my best friends. I think of the people around me. I think that people believe in you, Marcus. It would be an injustice, a disservice to them if you were to stop right now. How shameful will your grandpa look at you if you had just given up in this moment right now because you couldn't handle an angry client?
Yeah.
Because you can't take the stress? Go to therapy. Do something.
Beautiful.
Fix yourself.
Beautiful.
Work harder.
Yeah.
And through that internal dialogue, you find true power. That power isn't about me wanting to get the fastest car or the nicest Lamborghini. That power is I'm actually making a change in people. I'm trying to give new perspectives, new ideas, new evolutions to the mind of the human species. I want people to have new trains of thought. I think that's what it comes down to. I think going back to the original question, we want to improve society. We want to advance society as a whole. People just need to get educated more.
100%.
Information is the gatekeeper of all of your joys. Most people want to get rich. Most people want to experience a life of more freedom. They don't know how. And they don't seek it because you've been distracted by media. Many people say, I've heard this quote before, religion is the opium of the masses. And I'm not trying to get too deep into religion and all of that stuff, but let's talk about this. Opium of the masses, distractions. I would argue that sports, music is the new opium of the people. It's a new religion because everyone is so distracted with Steph Curry, LeBron James, and Bronny James. Everyone's distracted by just hoes, sluts, and bitches in songs. You're distracted. So even if you do have a little peak of curiosity, you're going to be too distracted by everything. And then plus you have friends and family that are also distracted. And now you're in this never-ending cycle of maybe you want a little change, but it's not deep enough where you want an immense change. It's all about self-pondering, getting that internal dialogue. I say, if you can, because the world is so crowded and because the human species wasn't even built to live in cities, you know, like our whole entire brain chemistry changes because, you know, city creatures versus like people outside, there's a different chemical balance. Point is, there's so much stuff going on these days. You need to find your inner peace one way or the other. And Mikey stresses this a lot, finding your inner peace. I think as a man, you need to be able to hold that ground, hold that peace. And for me, what I found best, I like to do meditation. I sit still. And people want to go crazy. I'm not no yoga guru or anything, but this is how I meditate. I find one spot, the same spot that I go to every single day, 5, 10, 15 minutes, put a timer on, close your eyes, and just let your thoughts sink in. You could have bad thoughts, you could have good thoughts. Point is just let your thoughts sink in and just let it run course. Many people just can't sit alone and just sit in their thoughts. The entire generation of human, men would be better if we knew how to sit in our thoughts alone.
Yeah.
we really would be, but we can't. And it's not an easy thing to do because it's feeling all of your emotions, feeling everything, the good, the bad, the truth.
I agree.
But that is where you find the answers that you're looking for.
100%. Bro, that was amazing. I love that wrap up, everything that you said. It was such a pleasure talking to you. This was amazing. I think we've got a lot of jewels for them out there. This was life changing. I think you're gonna change some people's life because it's the simplest things.
It's simple,
but it needs to be said.
Let me just wrap one things up. You know, whenever I watch podcasts, whenever I watch content, I always like to have actionable steps after.
Let's
so
give
I
it
want
to
to
them.
give
Yeah,
the
let's
audience
give it to
some
them.
actionable steps. Okay, if you're not where you want to be, if you want to improve yourself financially and your health, your relationships, it all comes down to first principles. So remember that 1 + 1 = 2 = 3, which basically means first, let's fix your energy level. There's no way you're gonna go make $1 million or find the woman or husband of your dreams if you're not in the right energy. Like if you just coming up to your first day and you just bum that energy, you got some pimple on your eye, and you just don't know what you're doing. Like, no. Fix your energy. And how you're gonna do that is you need to go to the gym, exercise at least 3 times a day, and that's minimum. I laugh at people on my team if they're exercising 3 times a day. I go 7 days a week. And I go 7 days because I'm gonna have an off day where I actually can't make it. But the point is, you're competing against people that are literally working out 7 days a week. This is real world stuff, guys. So fix your energy levels. Go to the gym, increase it. Avoid all of the chemical processed foods. So many people get caught in sugary foods, candy. I love Kit Kat. I love chocolate bars. And all of that is terrible. You know, so you have to be having standards and discipline for yourself. The moment you have discipline in your life is the moment you're going to find true satisfaction, true fulfillment. So I want you to fix your energy levels by going to the gym. Build a consistent routine. If you can't pick yourself up to go to the gym, find someone that can. Find a network that can. Find a community that can. Part of what brings me and Mikey to the gym every single day is because we love the people that we go, whether that's LA Fitness, shout out LA Fitness, whether that's Lifetime, shout out Lifetime Garden City. We love the people there. It's all about the people, you know? So find your community, find your tribe. And if you go to the gym early, you're going to find other people that are on that wavelength. You're going to find other people that are motivated and inspiring you to go. And it's just going to bring great, friendly competition. So you're going to fix your energy levels by going to the gym. Next, you have to change your environment. So I don't know what your goals are. If you want to make money, you better learn profit and loss. You better learn financial analysis. You better understand net income, revenue minus expenses. You better understand that language, or else you're not going to be able to talk that language. If you're trying to improve your relationships, you might want to follow Top G Mikey. And you might want to work on your communication skills, your social skills. Go out more. Enjoy life. Go to some parties. Actually, like, let loose and have fun. It depends on what your goal is. But the point is, put yourself in that habitat. Put yourself in that environment. And you're going to change, and it's not going to feel comfortable. And you have to be able to tell yourself before that actually happens, like, I know I'm going to want to bitch out.
Yeah.
It's like when I go to the gym, it's like, I know I'm not trying to do 50 pull-ups. So let me just do 40. And then once you get to 40, push it a little more. Because I knew this was coming. I knew that when I started my business, I might have some tough days. I saw this coming. I made a contract with myself that I'm not going to give up. So I'm just going to see it through. Blind faith goes a long way. Yeah. Having faith, having hope. Because your thoughts is what's going to lead to your actions. Your actions lead to your routine. And then your routine is going to change into lifestyle. And this, ladies and gentlemen, this is a lifestyle.
Nice, nice. That was so amazing. You give us back-to-back good endings, good follow-up. Tell them where they can find you at, brother.
You guys can find me at Marcus Lamb Official. That's my first and last name, Marcus Lamb Official. Or you could search up this podcast at Peak Flow Media. And where can people find you, my brother?
They can find me right here at Tasha Watkins, your favorite realtor. You can Google it. You know, I'm always available. Brother, it's been amazing. Thank you so much for dropping all this knowledge with us. I'm looking forward. We got to do this again. I'm looking forward to talking to you again.
Appreciate it, brother.
Thank you. You're welcome.